Funding for nonprofits like the Chatt Foundation is currently in limbo. The Trump administration has announced a freeze on payments.
Now, the Chatt Foundation is one of many nonprofits that use federal funding to deliver services to those who are unhoused. Cornelia Nicholson has more.
Courts have since halted the Trump administration's funding freeze, but nonprofits like the Chatt Foundation say they're worried that they can freeze funds again, which would negatively impact the services they provide. Baron King, CEO and president of the Chatt Foundation, says right now they're operating under a $370,000 grant from the federal Department of Housing and Urban Development.
And the way these funds work is that we agree to do the work and we spend the money, and then at the end of the period we apply for reimbursement.
He says those funds are used for programs that help house people and their staff salaries.
We run 4 different properties where people with low income or struggling to make ends meet, that they can come in and have a portion or all of their rent subsidized by the federal government.
A federal funding freeze would mean the foundation wouldn't be reimbursed for the money that was already approved by the government.
Well, it'll cause a $370,000 shortfall in our budget, which is a huge amount. So it's hard to imagine not being reimbursed, not affecting other services.
With the recent flooding and fire at 2 homeless camps, the Chatt Foundation services are in high demand.
We do have people that go out on outreach, which means they bring our services to remote encampments. They've been incredibly busy with helping with the rescue efforts, trying to locate people that were missing, the people that lost everything in the flood. That was tents, tarps, clothing, everything.
King says thankfully the cold weather warming shelter was open the night of the flood, so they were able to give people warm clothes and a place to lay their head for the night.
We're concerned because if the current federal administration is willing to try and stop money that's already been approved, we're very concerned that that'll lead to reduced funding in the future.
While nothing is certain for their financial future, King says they plan to continue providing for the community like normal.
We're not kicking anybody out. We're not going to stop our work, but we are looking at ways to pivot in the next couple years of how do we still do the work we do, how do we stay financially solvent, and try and manage as best we can.
In Chattanooga, Cornelia Nicholson, Local 3 News.